Hey guys, and welcome back to the Blue Podcast Network. This is Chequered Show, and today we're going to be talking all about the Dutch Grand Prix. I'm your host Rhys, and alongside me is Matt. How are we doing?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. And do you know what else is doing all right?
What is?
The Cadillac.
Yes.
They're doing all right. They've just announced their driver pairing for 2026.
I love it.
Valtteri Bottas and Sergio Perez. What's your thoughts?
I love this pairing. I think both of them have always been the second driver. I mean, I guess Perez was kind of the first driver at times at Force India Racing Point, whichever the team was called then. But he's never really been a first choice driver at a decent team. So both of these drivers are going to want to be the first choice. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that dynamic works because neither of them are the obvious first choice. They're kind of both a similar level. Who do you think's first choice?
I don't know. I think they're both as kind of good each other. I think in terms of if you look in terms of performance up against their two teammates, Verstappen and Hamilton, I would say Bottas. But I think in terms of an overall package as a driver, I think Sergio Perez. I think Perez for me is the best option they could have got out there. I
think Perez probably. Yeah. I mean, I don't know because I think Bottas is. I think Bottas as well. I think it's a great lineup.
I think it's incredible. I think ultimately it goes up there with one of the best lineups so far.
If you're a new team, you need experience. That's like the main reason teams struggle is because they don't have any experience in their driver lineup. So this is a good one because it's got a lot of that.
Because that's the thing. The talk was, did they go with a young driver and an experienced driver? Because Mick Schumacher was linked to the seat. Djokovic was linked, but they decided to go experience.
I wouldn't have minded Mick Schumacher alongside one of these drivers. No. That could have worked.
No, I say that would have been interesting to see Schumacher come back.
I don't think he's dreadful. I don't think he is.
I don't think he's as bad as what he actually kind of showed when he was at Haas.
I think he's better than that.
But I'm really impressed by that. Perez also offers a lot of money. I think.
Well, yeah, the Mexican, because they say like the Mexican flags and stuff, and the Mexican merch, like they say it sells.
I think he sold like 4 times more merchandise than Max when he was at Red Bull.
Wasn't he like the third most profitable driver behind like Hamilton and someone else?
Hamilton and probably like Ferrari or
Leclerc probably.
Or something. But it's incredible, and I think it's a really good move. I think no matter where Cadillac are next season, I think you can guarantee that you've got 2 drivers there that are going to produce solid performances.
Yeah.
You've got that consistency there, and right, cool. These guys are going to do what they need to do. We just got to sort everything out. You've got one thing guaranteed.
So how good do you think the car will be?
That's the thing we don't know. Ultimately, don't know. We're going into new regulations next year as well, so literally could be a whole different changes all around the grid. I've got good faith in them, I think. Graham Loden, the team principal, he's spoken well about the team. I've kind of got faith in him. He was at Manor before, so he has experience. I think with a 2 good driver pairing as well, they will be able to eke good performances out.
Real ones remember Manor. I remember.
Big up Manor.
And Marisha as well. Do you remember them?
The iconic livery, was it 2016? The blue and red livery, one of my favorite liveries. But yeah, I think it's really good. And I think there was talk with Cadillac. Do they go with an all-American pairing? But there's no one out there currently.
Logie, bring Logan Sargent
back. But there was talk with about Jack Crawford, who drives in Formula 2. I don't think he's good enough. And also Colton Herta, who drives over in IndyCar.
Yeah, I know Herta.
He's rumoured to be moving. He's rumoured to be driving in Formula 2 next season because he doesn't have the super license. He has 34 out of 40 super license points. So the rumour is that he might come over as a third driver because he drives for Andretti in IndyCar, and Andretti is basically Cadillac. So I think he'll come over Formula 2, get the super license points, do some FP1 sessions, and if Perez or Bottas doesn't have a strong season, but I believe they have a multi-year deal, so they have a 2-year contract.
I'm annoyed that it looks like Dunn's not going to get a seat because I really want him to get a seat.
He's been really strong this season, and it's just unlucky that he's kind of coming through, and we've got so much talent in Formula 1, which is just unfortunate.
As much as I love Alonso, step aside, let a youngster come in. Come on,
Stroll.
No, because Stroll gets overhated. He's actually decent.
It's overrated.
He's decent.
I'd rather see Alonso than Stroll.
Well, yeah, but come on, at some point he's got to step aside and let some youngster in.
Mate, Alonso will be racing when he's 80, so don't have to worry about that. He's here for a long time.
I know.
But
he's not here for a good time. He's here for a long time.
Exactly. He's here until he wins his 3rd world title. Or another race win. But shall we move on to the race itself then?
Yeah.
Oscar Piastri won the race. Lando Norris DNF'd towards the end of the race.
I feel for him. I do feel for him.
I don't think it was an engine failure. I think something saying that there's some sort of chassis issue. I'm not 100% sure what it was.
Could it? I'm not trying to put blame on the victim, but could he have caused that by going over curbs and stuff too heavily, or do we know that or not?
That's the thing. I'm not sure how that was caused. It's quite a weird one if it is chassis, but if it is engine, we've had a lot of Mercedes engine failures this season, so it's a little bit more of a concern. Antonelli DNF'd, was it in Spain with an engine issue?
Yeah.
So a little bit of a concern there, and we're going to Monza next, which is
a very engine-heavy track.
So that could be a little bit of an issue, a concern for Mercedes. But Piastri won the race. Had Norris kind of pressured him throughout a lot of the race. Norris lost position to Max at the start. Eventually got past Max with ease, and Norris just couldn't get past.
I mean,
him,
the McLaren's just a spaceship.
It's just because even we'll touch on Max in a bit, where Max tried different things. Like on the last stint, he was on the softs, and McLaren was on the hards, and even with the more grip, the better tyre, he still couldn't get anywhere near the McLarens, which just shows how much pace that McLaren has. And it's incredible with what McLaren are doing. So one question I will ask now, which is, is the championship over for Lando Norris now? He's done 44 points.
No. There's still 9 races left.
Yeah.
All it takes is the same thing happening to Piastri,
or
an unfortunate crash, a bad race. Like one race win for Norris where Piastri doesn't finish, he's back in it completely. Like there's no way it's anywhere near over yet. This is going down to at least Las Vegas for me, probably to Abu Dhabi.
I think that's sort of
like I don't get why people are saying, oh, it's over now. Like, yeah, it's a lot harder, but also if he wins every race from here on out, he'd win the championship by 20 points, even if Piastri finished second every race.
Yeah,
because he gets 7 more points every race.
Well, my initial thought, when I saw him pull over, the first thing I said championship over. That's the first thing I said. But obviously after, I think there's still plenty. But I think the reason why I was saying that was because the gap it's been so close between the two drivers this season. They've either finished 1 and 2, and the gap hasn't really been that big between the two of them. So for Norris to gain that, unless Piastri has a failure, it's gonna be huge.
The problem is he can't really take risks anymore because one crash and where he doesn't finish and Piastri wins, then it is over. Yeah. But at the moment, no, it's all right. I think it's fine.
Yeah, I think when at the time, and I was maybe a bit of an overreaction, but I think but it can be massive. You could look at this a bit like when I saw some people comparing when Luce in 2016 Malaysian Grand Prix, when he had the engine failure, he was leading the race and he lost the race championship by 5 points, and he lost 25 points.
I mean, it could be that case, but I just don't see this making it the point that's over.
No, there's
still so much racing to be done.
Yeah, exactly.
We only just had the summer break.
Exactly. We just had round 15, so we've still got 9 races to go. So there's plenty to do, and I'm sure Piastri's going to have some of his bad luck as well at some point, but we just don't know. But Verstappen, he finished second. So yeah, he got off to a great start. Jumped Norris. His race nearly ended at turn 2 when he kind of got onto the bit of sand onto the track and literally was almost race ending.
So many drivers look sketchy out there, and you know that Banks corner. Is that no, not the one that is it turn 3? The one that kind of they come down and they come up, like where Leclerc and Antonelli crashed. That there was so many moments at that over the weekend where drivers look shaky, which we haven't really seen before at Danforth. But it's a hard corner.
Yeah, it's a difficult corner because it's so close to everything. It's so easy to make a mistake, but literally could have ended his race, and thank God he didn't. But so as I said, Verstappen tried everything in that race, just didn't have the pace overall against the McLarens ultimately. But overall, a solid drive by Max, maximised that Red Bull, did well in qualifying, got the car into P3, so you have to say he worked well in qualifying, that got him there. Yuki Tsunoda finished in the points, a little bit fortunate in a way, had cars ahead of him. Gasly and Bottas stayed out, they were on old tyres, so they pitted, so that was quite easy. And then Norris obviously DNF, so he got points. But I think that's his first points in like 10 races since like Miami or something like that, which is incredible. It just shows, that's the thing, I don't know if it's just the level of performance of the Red Bull or the quality of Tsunoda. That's the thing, I'm just not sure. I'm probably more leaning towards the performance of that Red Bull.
Same.
Should we head on to the headline of this weekend? Isaac Hagger. Who had that on their bingo cards this week? I didn't.
Yeah, you put that for my prediction, right? That's what I thought.
Yeah, you did.
I said that before the race. I said Hadjar's on the podium.
But incredible. The fact that he qualified P4.
I know,
was
just the
amazing.
pace from him all weekend was mad.
Incredible. And P4, I said Lawson qualified P8, and that was a pretty good qualifying from Lawson. And then he
got overlooked because of Hadjar.
Exactly. And to finish on the podium. And in a way, I wanted to see Norris finish the race because I want a championship battle. But to then say, wait, Hadjar on the podium.
Why couldn't Max have a DNF?
Amazing. Yeah, on Piastri. Then he could have won the
race.
race.
Piastri, that would have been interesting, yeah.
But an incredible performance by Hadjar. He wasn't even meant to be on the grid this season. It was a late call, and he's got himself a podium.
He's got bags of potential, for sure.
Bags of potential. One of the rookies of the year. I think he will go down as the rookie of the year.
I think this podium probably makes him a strong case for it now, because I don't think he had it before, but now he does. I think Antonelli has been massively overhyped.
Yeah.
Because so far he hasn't looked good. I mean, we'll get on to him probably, I'd imagine. But I think Behrman's been good. But I think for me, I bought a letter as well, but I think for me it is probably Hadjar, especially with this podium.
I think he kind of sneaks there now. The one question I'm going to ask you is, now there will be rumours whether he should make that jump to Red Bull if Red Bull comes.
Just don't.
If you was Hadjar, would you say yes?
No. Well, I don't think, being honest, if the call comes, I don't think you really get a choice.
Yes,
but
that's true.
If there's any way, I'd say no. Because development, you don't want to rush to a big team straight away. It's like in football as well. If you get, I don't know, if you're 16, you get an offer from Barcelona, you don't want to jump there straight away unless you are that good, because you might then it might put your development back rather than, getting consecutive starts at a club. Same with him with Racing Bulls. He's got a good project there. They're building a good car. Stay there until they're not, and then move.
Yeah.
Don't wait until Red Bull are good again until you know you're going to get the good treatment.
Because this is the thing with Hadjar though, is I think if the call came, he would take Red Bull, because you'd have to. New regulations next year.
Can't say no to them. Can't say no to them.
It's like you never say no to Barcelona or Real Madrid. You just don't say no. But I think next year it's different regulations. So would the car be different? That's the thing. So that's kind of a thought that Hadjar can kind of play with as well. And if so, he would have to look elsewhere. And where else does he go when a lot of the field is quite full? But I think I don't want to see him rush. I don't want to see another young driver kind of ruined by that Red Bull project. But I do fear that if that Red Bull do come in for an offer, he's going to say yes. So, but yeah, amazing for Hadjar. Huge congratulations. Liam Lawson, he got involved in an incident with Carlos Sainz. How on earth that was a penalty? Well, by the rules, it is a penalty.
Yeah.
But it's not. I think it was quite fair. I think it's a racing incident, in my opinion. Lawson was on the inside, Sainz was on the outside. And Lawson had a little bit of understeer, and then he just kind of went into. But I think Sainz could have done more about the situation as well. I don't understand how that was, but the reason why is because he doesn't have his wheel at a certain point alongside Lawson's car. I think he has to have that wheel alongside the other wheel.
Yeah,
and it's that sort of rule where it's just a load of rubbish rule. That just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make racing any better. It doesn't encourage racing at all. So I think that's quite unfair. Even Lawson, I think, said that he doesn't really agree with the penalty either. So that kind of speaks volumes.
That tells you everything
about that. Moving on to the Mercedes, Russell finished P4. He had a battle with Charles Leclerc. Was at turn 11. Amazing racing. That was investigated after the race to whether that should be a penalty or not. Obviously, Leclerc went around the outside, kind of broke a little bit late, ran the outside, and just kept his car on the circuit at that kind of like stadium section. And they had a little bit of battle kind of going to the straight as well. Did you think that was a penalty or not between Leclerc and Russell at turn 11?
I don't know, really. I'm not sure.
Like,
it's difficult. What do you think?
Well, initially I was thinking, did he go off the track? And
I'm not sure he did.
Because that's what the FIA concluded, that there's no sufficient evidence to say he went off the circuit. So with that, I think that's a fair move. It was quite argy-bargy. He kind of got his elbows out.
Yeah, but I think you got to be on a track like Zandvoort.
Yeah.
There's not many overtaking opportunities.
Yeah, and incredible. That's racing. That is.
Yeah, that's what you want to see.
That's what I want to see. And yeah, so Russell.
Let's not punish racing.
No, exactly. And with Russell as well, he's behind Hadjar. Couldn't get past Hadjar because Hadjar just had a good pace. and also got podium with that. And yeah, so Russell it's just a typical Russell performance. Just qualifies well, races well, gets good points. Probably one of the drivers of the season so far.
How close are we to your favourite bit of this weekend?
I'm going to touch on Antonelli, so then we can go on to the Leclerc crash, and then we can fade in. So Antonelli, he was actually having a decent race, to be fair. He got knocked out in Q2, and before he crashed, he was running about P7, so he was going for some decent points. But then he decided to drive into Charles Leclerc.
He's right. Hang on, he's 17 or 18, isn't he? Which one is he? 18.
18 or 19. Okay.
So I'm gonna be nice because he's 18. But what a muppet! Yeah. Like, come on, you can't just. What are you doing? Just don't go into the back of him. It's not that hard. Yeah. You're doing it every other lap. Just don't hit him.
Like, it's frustrating because I wanted Antonelli to do well this season. He had all this talk of,
and he did start well,
and he started well, but it's just not kind of working out for him at the minute, and I feel a little bit sorry for him.
Yeah.
As I said before, I feel like he's out of his depths a little bit.
I think he's clearly got pace. I don't think that's where he's out of his depth. I just don't think his racecraft's that good yet, and he's trying to take too many risks. I think when you look at it, he's come from Formula 2 where the cars are much narrower and they can follow much closer. Yeah. And he's trying to make moves that you would make in Formula 2, but they just don't work in F1 cars.
Yeah, and this is the thing, Antonelli, like, he had, I think he had 1.5 years in Formula 4, or like regional cars, straight into Formula 2, and then straight into Formula 1. I know Max had basically Max had 1 year before. He had Formula 3, and I think he did another series before, and then he jumped into Formula 1, but that's Max Verstappen. But, yeah, it just... you can kind of see that happening where he was on the inside and he just lost it, went into Leclerc, feel really sorry for him, double DNF for Ferrari.
I felt sorry for Leclerc. I thought it's one of those ones because we saw it with Max when Antonelli crashed into him as well, but it's kind of like you can't really be annoyed at him because he's a rookie, so like you're not going to get out of the car and shout at him, what are you doing? But you know, Leclerc will be very annoyed on the inside.
Yeah. Did you see the images like when?
It's so funny. How he's like posing for the cameras. It's so funny.
Like he was just sat on the hills, and you see the cars going behind him. I felt so sorry for him.
It's like when Alonso sat on that deck chair at USA?
Yeah, I think it was that, or no, Brazil. I think it was Brazil.
I thought it was USA.
Brazil, I think it was, and I think he did it in Hungary. Can't remember, but. Yeah, should we move on to... Well, yeah, so definitely playing an issue for Antonelli.
Yeah, for sure. There's no doubt about that.
And we'll go on to the Ferraris then. So obviously we spoke about Leclerc. Had decent pace, was quite racy. So was Luce as well. Luce had a good pace.
What was the other one? What happened to him?
He had an incident.
But
overall, I thought Luce had good pace in the race. He was looking quite racy behind Russell before he pitted. So I thought... he was kind of going to try and move forward. So it's quite in that aspect, it's quite positive. But then he just kind of went slightly wide, went a bit onto the, off the track that he really shouldn't be, and then just slid off. Maybe it's just a little bit slippery.
It's so uncharacteristic of him, though. He does not normally crash on his own, very, very rarely. Even when it's raining.
That's the thing, you don't see that, or even Lewis making mistakes. And I guess he's made a few more mistakes this season in terms of in races. But I was gutted because I thought Lewis was going to crack on because he had good pace behind Russell, and then just spin out like that. It's head in the arms sort of situation. And yeah, Monza up next, so Ferrari always do well around Monza. So hopefully Lewis can kind of pick it up from there. But yeah, as a Lewis fan, that one did hurt. And also see Leclerc. I also see Leclerc out as well. 2 Ferraris out.
That's not nice.
It's not nice. But yeah, so let's move on to Williams. Albon started P15 and he finished P5.
I didn't realise he climbed that much. That's a great drive.
He had a great start. I think he had a great start. I think he got himself up to P9 sort of area. And P5. Obviously, Norris retiring, that kind of helped, and all these different things. But a solid drive by Albon. Albon did say, I think, that he had more pace in the car in qualifying, like he had those issues. I think it was something to do with tyre warm-up, and he kind of put that to proof in the race, finishing P5. Again, another solid performance by Albon. Once again, putting himself in these high kind of points positions. Williams are now, they're 5th in the championship.
I love Williams.
Albon, one of the top drivers of the season so far.
I feel for Science because it's clearly not been easy for him moving to a new team.
It hasn't been easy. The incident with Lawson as well, because I think he was running the points at that time as well. So that massively derailed his race. Science hasn't had a good time with it so far this season, but Albon is doing really strong, being really strong. It's very much like what we say with Russell. It's a very much Russell performance. Albon's just doing a very much of an Albon performance where he's just been consistent all year. There was doubts into this season whether Sainz would smoke Albon, but I think people were forgetting how good Albon actually is. Incredible by Albon. Kind of touched on Sainz there, obviously with the penalty with Lawson. Going on to the Haas cars now. Both scored points. Behrman started from the pit lane and he finished P6.
Again, a phenomenal drive. I mean, he's again one of the rookies of the year. I mean, we keep saying it. I mean, a lot of these rookies are just so good.
We've had a lot of good rookies this year, and it just shows how much talent we actually have coming through. That's incredible. The two Haas cars, they stayed out from the first safety car, had a massive train of cars behind them. But when the second safety car came out, they pitted and they just had track position. Behrman was flying past. He got past Stroll. He got past Gasly, who was on really old tyres, and got himself up to P6. So really solid performance. And I'm saying he's going really under the radar of one of those strong kind of drivers of the season. Ocon as well. Obviously, he was on the same strategy as Behrman, but he was ahead of Behrman. But then before the pit stop, but then afterwards he was behind. So I don't know what happened there, but he still scored points. Did Ocon? Ocon's a solid midfield driver. Good performance, and that's the thing with Behrman.
I like Ocon.
That's the thing. Ocon's one of my favourite drivers, to be fair. But Behrman is coming to the team with Ocon, who's a solid midfield driver. You know what we're going to get. And it's going to be thereabouts with Behrman, which I'm really impressed with.
He's taking the fight to Ocon, I'd say.
I think so. And I think going into next season, we can maybe see kind of... Obviously, Behrman's only going to get better. So, and to be up against Ocon, who's a very kind of good yardstick to kind of compare yourself to, is really good by Behrman. So hopefully he can kind of do that. Continue that. Chance of Boy, not too far away from you.
Yeah,
so
very close.
Congrats to him. Aston Martin, we're going on Alonso. Alonso fell back at the start. He got stuck behind traffic, so he pitted and had better tyres than them ahead. So he started to make moves.
A good weekend for Aston Martin.
A good weekend. They started really well, FP1, FP2, but I believe they were running the floor a little bit too low, so they had to high the floor, and that's how the performance of the car got worse. But when it was the second safety car, he just kind of pitted onto the hard tyres, so he gained track position. He finished in the points. And I did say Aston Martin would bounce back this weekend, and they did. Lance Stroll also finished in the points as well. He finished P7. He started P19. Had that crash in qualifying as well, which was a little bit of a silly one where he just got himself too much onto the grass to the left-hand side, going into the final corner, and just spun off. It was the second time that day he crashed in FP3 as well at turn 3. So a typical Lance Stroll, but a solid drive. It kind of shown that when Stroll has the car underneath, he can perform. But whether he can do that enough...
The hate is so forced.
I think
it's so forced.
A lot of the hate is forced. And I'm a massive defender of him because I don't like seeing drivers get hate. And obviously when he crashed in qualifying, I'm like, you can't really be doing that. But I'll give him credit where credit's due when he's finishing the points. So a solid performance by Lance Stroll. So points again, double points for Aston Martin. I said,
good.
Looking good. Now they head to Monza. Very more similar track to Spa, so we'll have the same performances that they had there. We'll have to wait and see. For Alpine though, Gasly, nothing really much happened with him. Got through into Q2. He was in P8 for a while, but he stand on fresh tyres, on the old tyres. Gambled and then just kind of fell away at the end. Same with Colapinto as well. A quiet race from him. We kind of ran on P14 for a while. We finished P12, so a decent performance there. But that's fortunate because of cars ahead of him kind of dropping out and things like that. So a solid day by Colapinto, P16 as well, where he started. Not really much to say about Alpine, kind of being really towards the bottom this year. Gasly just getting so much out of that car than what he should be. And then we've got the Sauber. Sauber's Bortetto had a really poor getaway. His car just seemed like he just didn't want to get going. And he set out in the last safety car as well, like Gasly, and then just fell away, pit at the end. Just tried to gamble. But overall, same here. I'll say with Hulkenberg, that Sauber just didn't have any pace this weekend. Ultimately,
it was a poor weekend for them, really.
Yeah, I think they'll be better in at Monza.
Yeah, for sure.
I definitely think so, but just no performance there by the Sauber. I think Hulkenberg didn't try anything different with the safety cars and just didn't benefit from any of it. So let's move on. So that's it about the race. Overall, I think it was a really good Grand Prix.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was an interesting one.
We had a lot of battles during the race. The Leclerc moment was probably my key one with the battle with Russell. And a lot of for the championship, a lot of drama for that as well.
Yeah,
with the Norris incident. Let's go into the predictions that we had from.
Do we have to talk about these ones?
Well, we both scored 1 point.
We both scored 1.
Yeah.
What point did I get?
You got a point for Piastri on pole.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I thought I put Norris on pole.
No, I put Norris on pole.
I thought we both did because Norris was expected to be much faster around here.
You said Norris to win the race. And
yeah.
Me. The only one I got right was we had to predict to would finish P8. And I predicted Fernando.
No way, that's such a snipe there.
Let's go. So I'm really proud of that one. So that means for our standings between me and you, you're on 14 points, I'm on 13 points.
So I just about stay ahead.
Just ahead. So I think our championship battle is more interesting than the actual Imola battle. I think this is going to go right down to Abu Dhabi. So don't you worry about that. Stay tuned. So that's how it is with us. Let's go into predictions for Monza.
This is hard. What are we doing?
So we're doing obviously pole first, second, third, P9, and then fastest lap.
Okay.
So
pole.
I did my predictions.
I think pole will be Piastri.
Yep.
What do you think?
I've gone with pole for Piastri as well. I think.
Oh, nice.
I think it'll be on pole, and I think Piastri will win the Grand Prix. I feel like being on pole this season is so important. I feel like the guy on pole is. I know it's obviously a stat, but I think he should win from pole.
I'll go for Norris to win, Piastri to be second, and third's quite a tough one. I'm going to go for Leclerc around Monza just because I felt like there'll be a Ferrari there. Yeah,
I've gone with Norris second. I want to put Leclerc. That's the thing. Ferrari. I don't know why, but Ferrari always produce.
I mean, Ferrari could win the race. If they're going to win any race, it's going to be this one.
Exactly. And last year they shouldn't have won the race last year, but it was kind of fortunate events led Charles Leclerc to win the race. I've gone with Max Verstappen to finish third. I do want to say Leclerc, but I feel like that car in that Honda engine in that sort of low speed circuits does well. You know, they have good drag. Does Red Bull. So I think Verstappen will finish third.
P9. I'm going for Yuki Tsunoda.
Tsunoda finished.
Yeah, I reckon. I'm really confident on that one as well. I don't know why.
10th to 9th. Wow.
I don't know
what, guys.
I don't know why, but I'm so confident in that one. P9 is going to be Yuki Tsunoda.
Okay.
For sure.
I'll go with Alex Albon. I think we normally go well at these sort of like no drag circuits, and I think he will put himself there. So, yeah. Fastest lap.
It's going to be one of the McLarens, Piastri.
I'll go with Lando Norris. I feel like he will be chasing. He'd be very close between him and Piastri. I think he'll get the fastest lap trying to chase. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Charles Leclerc, if he's going to be on that podium as well. Yeah. I reckon it'll be a good battle in Monza. I think Luce, he had good pace in the Netherlands, so it'll be interesting to see if he can carry that over. Then Leclerc, when you think of Monza, you think Leclerc. It's a Leclerc circuit.
Yeah, for sure.
Russell will always be there, and Verstappen will always be there. So it'll be a good fight for that kind of third podium spot. I think those four drivers could really easily be there. So have we got anything else to kind of touch on news-wise?
That's it from me.
So that's going to do it for this week's episode of The Chequered Show. Make sure you check us out on Instagram, TikTok, and Spotify. We're on Spotify as well. Like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And we'll catch you on the next episode.